Hey, it's Goose.
This is Steve-O.
And I'm Tank Rodriguez, and you're listening to Dirty Masenko.
I feel like we should have echoed with that. Senko.
Or do that next week.
Yeah, we'll do that next week. And as I said it, because I said it before we started recording, but I promise that you're going to hear intro music besides just me, because I know it's a little weird. You're like, I can't hear, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do with my life, all that good stuff. But yeah, next week we will have it. Hi, boys. How y'all doing?
Doing good, sir. Doing good.
Yeah. Goose, you doing good?
Hanging in there, man. I think it's gonna rain. My knees hurt.
Your knees hurt? Oh, lordy lord. This guy
That's
over
at 30.
here. Oh, man. Well, let's see. San Antonio, where we are located at, could actually use some rain. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about rain and other stuff like that. We're here to talk about Dragon Ball related stuff. Sorry, I had to burp. Before we get into today's episode, which is actually, it's actually getting some more meat on the bone of Dragon Ball Super. We're kind of just, we're coming off of what is it? Attack of the God. What's it? What's that anime before? What was it? The movie?
This is Battle of the Gods.
Battle of the Gods. I don't
Coming
know what's
off
wrong
that.
with me. Like as soon as I hit record, I just became dumb. I just became so stupid. Anyway, yeah. So Battle of the Gods. We're coming off of that, and now it's still kind of a Resurrection F, because I what did I call it? Attack on F or?
You call it Attack on F last episode, yeah. It's like Attack on F.
Now, what is that? What is that exactly? Okay, but yeah, so yeah, we're actually getting some meat on there, and it's really exciting. We're actually getting some action today.
Finally.
Finally, with Dragon Ball Z, I mean, you got action on day one in episode 1. This one, it made you wait. We got action as far as fighting with Beerus, but other than that, it wasn't really like a war or anything you had to worry about. I guess had to worry about Beerus blowing up your planet, but we digress. I mean, it's like you're gonna start off the anime with threatening to blow up the planet, and you think it's you think it's really gonna end that soon. Anyway, we knew what was gonna happen. No, but I actually been watching Dragon Ball Z as well, but I've been watching it on Funimation, and I gotta tell you, it's like, okay, the storyline's still great. I still love it. I'm still following it. I'm like, man, I remember this, I remember that, and I'm happy to be rewatching it. But there's one thing that bugs me watching it on Funimation. Do you know what that is?
What is it, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay. Well,
It's I don't know. It's Sunday. Come on. Don't test my brain like that.
Awkward kids in class are just like, I can't
no,
talk.
I know.
I can't.
No, I was hoping y'all would say something so I could take a swig of water and so there wouldn't be dead air. But thanks, guys. No. So the biggest thing that gets me for watching it on Funimation is that Bruce Falconer's music isn't on there. So it's the the regular Japanese music, which it's not bad. It's not bad music whatsoever.
Yeah.
But when you listen to it, when you watch Dragon Ball Z with Bruce Falconer on it, it is a totally different ball game, and it elicits so many different feelings. And go ahead.
So I don't know is that the artist or is that the composer?
The composer.
The composer. So, are you talking about the one that says dragon, watch that one?
Well, I'm not sure about the intro music, but literally I'm talking about in the episode. While the episode's playing, there's it's more
ominous.
I would say it sounds like synth type, right?
Yeah,
would you say that?
It has a synth feel to it, but if I had to do a comparison.
Yeah.
The Japanese music is more about orchestrated sounds, but very classical sounding orchestrated sounds. Bruce Falconer still has the orchestra in there, but he included an electric guitar, some drums, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, okay.
and a synth, you know.
Yeah.
And so he adds that, and it just again, I mean, you watch it, it adds so much, like especially like Gohan's anger theme, Vegeta's theme, Cell's theme, like all those songs, all those like
Yeah.
special. I mean, they're like special songs that you just remember. And when you're watching it now, like, because I didn't watch it from the beginning, I started it off at the World Martial Arts Tournament with Saiyaman. I just because I know last week we were talking about it when I first started watching Dragon Ball Z. I started at that saga, so I started there. But I was watching on Funimation. I was like, dang it. So turns out a buddy of mine, Brittany. She's watching Dragon Ball Z for the first time, and her boyfriend told her they're watching it on the DVDs. And on the DVDs, you actually it gives you the option to switch audio from like Japanese like music.
Oh, that's
to
awesome.
Bruce Falconer. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm actually gonna buy them today. Buy them today and a DVD player because I don't own one.
Who has those?
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think I've probably owned like 3 DVD players in my lifetime. Once before I was married, one when I was married, and my PS3, and and that was the last time I owned a DVD player. But yeah, no, it still holds up. There's like a few filler episodes where I'm like, hurry up, but that's you know that comes with the territory. But have any of y'all started rewatching anything, or y'all just strictly on Dragon Ball Super now?
I'm on Super because, you know, I didn't watch the very beginning of Super, and I also didn't watch it in English, you know, so
that's right.
yeah, most of it was Jap subtitles, like I mentioned in the previous episodes that we did.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, even right now, Resurrection of F, I don't know what happened the next episode. Like, I really don't. I mean, you know, like, you know the end of it, because you can look on YouTube and find, you know, cuts of the ending of you know,
Again, spoiler alert: Frieza loses. You know what I mean? Like it's like again, like I was saying about the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. We're 21 episodes deep. Like it's not going to end anytime soon. So we got obviously you know what's going to happen.
We got time.
Right, but leading up before that, and even in some other sagas, I didn't watch those specific episodes. So it's kind of that's where it's new for me, where I can just like, okay, this is how it built up, and I know exactly what's going to happen at the end. Yeah. So that's kind of new for me, and I've watched enough Dragon Ball Z to like, okay, I'm done with it. I moved on from that part of my life.
Really? How dare you?
Yeah, but you remember? No,
I know.
Blue Falconer, it's definitely a distinction. You can't. It's almost like in your head you hear it, and then it's Dragon Ball Z compared to like whatever else is out there.
It's funny. It's funny, Tank, that you said that, because I've never really thought about it that much. I guess I haven't heard the difference between the music of the actual Japanese music and Bruce Falconer's music. I'll have to check that out.
Definitely, definitely start off mid, like with Saiyaman Saga if you do have Funimation, and then you'll see it, or even jump into Boo. Like you'll definitely hear it when it comes to Boo, like the Boo Saga. And again, I'm not saying the Japanese version, the Japanese music is the like it sucks or anything. I'm just saying like it's not. It doesn't get me excited. It's just more so like it goes from like for Bruce Falconer more like this like rock opera to this telenovela So it's like night and day.
It gets you hyped. It gets you more hyped.
Exactly. Like and then
It also, but the Japanese version also sounds older. Like I go back in time if you listen to that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You think it's like 1980s Saturday morning cartoon feeling when you hear it in the Japanese versus.
And that's another thing too. You're right. There's a lot more silence. You'll which isn't like I can think of like maybe like the Frieza saga or like the Cell saga, like when something happens and then there's silence. That would be kind of that is kind of eerie too, because you don't hear anything, so you're like left on the edge of your seat and you don't know what's happening. But again, I'm just a spoiled bitch and I like Bruce Falconer's music. Like okay, if you're listening to this right now, right, pause it and go pull up Vegeta's theme. Like, just on YouTube, it's there. Like, and it's one of the most amazing songs. Like, you'll hear. Like, when I was working out with my friend Chris, our friend Chris Stevo.
Yeah.
I would just be there in the morning, like at 5 o'clock in the morning. Just barely taking my pre-workout. Right, and I would put on Vegeta's theme. Like, that's what pumped me up, dude.
Yeah,
Vegeta's theme and Gohan's Anger theme. Those are the two songs that got me going.
And you are not alone, sir. That is definitely a male. I gotta like psych myself up to do these reps type music.
Yeah.
You're gonna use it. You're gonna use it if you're gonna work out that hardcore.
Even Super Saiyan 3. Theme.
No, yeah.
That one's that one's.
But let me ask y'all something. Do y'all? I mean, see, this is the thing where again, I just haven't watched Super enough as I would of Dragon Ball Z. I don't know who the composer was for Super, the English version. Also, I don't have a memory as tied to the music of Super as I do with Dragon Ball Z. You can think of your Cell sagas, your Frieza saga, Blue Falconer hits from back in the day, and it just comes to you. But Super doesn't do that. I don't, mainly because I haven't seen Super enough yet.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It does have Bruce Falconer listed as one of them. But there is, but again, there's like Mark Menza, Yukinojo Mori, Takafumi Iwasaki, Norihito Sumitomo. I'm assuming like those are like the hybrid of like the Japanese. I mean, I'm not sure if Japanese music is the Japanese music is different from the American music there. I would have to like compare episodes on like epic events. I think that's when you'll really hear it, or unless they all just collab together. That's something to think about. I'll follow up with y'all next week about that. I just thought that was interesting. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm gonna have to go get a freaking DVD player.
And I'm sure that there's members of our audience that may like the original Japanese soundtrack to it. I'm kind of interested to hear what people's opinions are on that. So if they want to drop a comment,
that's
below,
a good question of the day. What's your favorite theme music from Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super? It can be anything. Let us know in the comments section down below. And hey, while we're at it, don't forget to hit that like button and that subscription button. Let's grow this, and then share it with your mom, your dad, your grandma, your dog. Just share it with anybody that you think might like this. We could really use it, ladies and gentlemen.
There are some real Dragon Ball fan pets out there. I'm sure there's cats because of Beerus or something like that.
Can you imagine like a naked one of those bald cats? Named Beerus. I'm sure
someone has.
I think I've seen it. You're right.
Someone's made that cat purple and said, "Oh, it's Beerus. This is my god of destruction." It's like okay.
I mean, a pink cat still. Anyway, but hey, let's get into the episode.
Love it.
Yeah. So today's episode that we are watching is the start of Vengeance. The Frieza forces Malice strikes Gohan. This episode first aired in Japan on November 29, 2015. Wow. Its original American air date was June 10th, 2017, which is crazy. You know what I wanted to bring up before that? I retract my... before we get into the episode. I want something that we're gonna a common theme here is the outro theme. The outro theme to Dragon Ball Super. Mm-hmm. It's going to stay consistent for a while, but then it's going to change like every 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why? I just wanted to make that notice, but anyway. Getting back to it.
Clearly that was bothering you.
Yeah, it was. I was like, wait a minute, like why is something, I forgot to mention something. But yeah, the start of Vengeance, the Frieza forces, Malice strikes Gohan. Am I saying that right? Malice? Right? Malice?
Yeah, you're saying it right.
Malice.
But it just sounds like a weird sentence to say. Like, those are definitely words,
that was a translation from English to Japanese that didn't go so well.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, good deal. Because the Romaji name is Fukushu no Hajiman.
You said that perfect.
Frieza gun no Okuga Gohan Outsu.
Are you fluent?
No, I'm not. I can just I can just read
amazing.
Words, Goose. But yeah, as Frieza and his army are landing on Earth and leaving the spaceship, Tien Shinhan tells everyone that it was too dangerous for Chaozu. Did I say Tien or Teen?
You said Teen Shinhan.
Okay, yeah. I need to make this bigger because I can't see. As I get older, it happens, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, yeah. Tien Shinhan tells everyone that it's too dangerous for Chaozu. Gohan replies by saying Goten and Trunks weren't brought along because they thought they would have done something reckless. Mm-hmm. Krillin is expecting to see good Boo, but Gohan says that he is asleep and it will be difficult to wake him up, which is bullshit. Master Roshi, it's like one of those lazy things. Master Roshi tells everyone that he has possession of sensu beans and asks Gohan if he's been keeping up with his training. Gohan states that he hasn't, but he can probably still go Super Saiyan. All of a sudden, Jocko and Bulma arrive in Jocko's ship. Bulma feels that she's safe being around them and forces Jocko to fight along with everyone. There's two things that two things that bugged me about that. Well, the first one was the fact that, again, what's so hard about Gohan keeping up with some sort of training? Why is that out the door completely? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why they're downplaying any who Gohan really is. Is it is it just because he's so fucking strong that it would be just a boring series if he's just kicking everybody's ass so quickly?
No, I don't think that's it at all.
No. Mm-mm. No, I think they want to show that gap of relaxed lifestyle that he's had and its impact on him. But yeah, that's what I think.
I'm going to go slightly deeper on that, okay?
Okay.
Because we always have to remember Gohan is half Earthling, half Saiyan. He's not full Saiyan. Full Saiyan, if you're full Saiyan, you're constantly in battle. You're constantly getting better. That's just your genetic makeup as a Saiyan, if you will.
Yeah.
And Gohan only has really half of that. And now, I think sometimes it's always they want to show that the Earthling side, the more, I guess, human side, if you will, kind of prevails, and it tends to do that with him, because he's never really one to kind of go all out like his dad or Vegeta or any other Saiyan, So, but and then now he has a family, so it's okay, now the Earthling side's kind of I'm gonna take it easy. I don't need this. First of all, also his dad's Goku, and it's always dad's, and I think it's even mentioned in one of the episodes is dad's gonna take care of this because dad always takes care of this. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's a combination of him being half of the actual bloodthirsty race that is the Saiyan race, and the other one is just hey, I'm a dad now. I'm a dad bought it and just not give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true. And we're going on 2 years apiece, minus Beerus. So what are you really doing? I mean, you can see a lot of the people, not really a lot. A couple of people have kind of chillaxed. We got him and who else I was going to say? Krillin. They just been kind of taking it easy. But yeah, I guess that's a good point. Very good point. The second thing that bugged me, how lazy was it to just have Boo just not be?
I hate that so much. I hated it so much. I was expecting Boo to come in and be a part. I was excited to see Boo get in there and mix it up.
Well, no, that wouldn't have happened though. Boo would have just done something with this.
Well, yeah, but his head and come on, you don't want to see Frieza and Boo go at it. I mean, come on,
I do. I want to see that. I want to see how easy it would be. But all I'm saying is they just the easiest thing was to have him just stay asleep, and they didn't even. If you notice, Gohan didn't even mention anything of him offering food, what if he offered him food, when he woke up? But he doesn't say that. And it's there could have been something else. But anyway, that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah.
It was okay, cool, whatever. But digressing. Frieza, well, go ahead.
Well, there's two things that bugged me. Is one, the Boo thing, because they do that, and a spoiler, because they also do that for Tournament of Power, which I hated. I hated that shit.
Spoiler.
I hated that shit. And second, I would love to have seen Goten and Trunks come in there and fight. That would have been a great filler episode, if you will, but with some really good action and maybe some funny cutscenes.
Well,
I would have loved to see that.
Well, my good friend Goose, you might get your chance. And one of those two things might happen. And I won't tell you which is which, but it's not Boo.
Is it ever Boo? Is it ever Boo?
Right?
It's kind of like the theme of his character. And what he's about. And not only, I guess, parts of Dragon Ball Z, but then like definitely with Super, that's just, hey, he's going to show up what he wants to, and he probably won't.
Yeah. Well, I think he does a couple of times, and a couple of times it's interesting and it's fun. It's more because I think that the truth of the matter is like Boo would probably like destroy everybody, relatively quickly, including Frieza, and because he even makes mention to it, like there's two people not to mess with. Well, yeah, it was Boo and Beerus, So
yeah, but I don't. I'd have to disagree.
Power level.
Majin Buu, yes, but not the Buu in his fat form.
He has the same powers.
Yeah,
same powers, but I just think no. I think it's a different power level, especially when
Vegeta had to kill himself just to try to kill Buu, and guess what? It didn't work.
That's true. That's true. I'm trying. Maybe because I'm thinking ahead of here a little bit.
This is merely 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be your mindset? Wouldn't that be your mindset going into this?
A little bit until I realized Vegeta just like again it's the Saiyans. They just don't. They hate that. They hate being defeated. If we know anything about Saiyans, they just hate taking an L.
He did everything he possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
That was his last resort to save Earth.
I mean, he went out like a champ.
Right. But it's always that drive. And I see it a lot you'll see it in the beginning of this series. You'll see it a lot throughout the series. It's like a I don't know, like a psychosis that they have to like become better. They can't like stay where they are. They're not a Gohan. Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Call it ADHD.
that's a different. That's a lack of focus. I'm not sure about laziness.
Anyway, so then Frieza recognizes Jocko and Piccolo first, then Krillin. Bulma smack talks Frieza and claims that Gohan can beat him. Gohan tells her that he could beat his soldiers, but not Frieza himself. Bulma pleads Frieza for more time for Goku's arrival. Frieza agrees to give him more time, but only 10 seconds for him to show. After 10 seconds have passed, Sorbet orders Frieza's army to fight the Z-Fighters. Sorbet is sure that the army could hurt the Z-Fighters, but Frieza doesn't think so. We'll continue because there's not really a lot there. Frieza is watching the Z-Fighters fight against his soldiers when he eyes Gohan and starts to recognize him. Frieza says that Gohan has become like Goku and he could wipe out his army in an instant if he's so pleased, though he is disgusted. Frieza flicks Sorbet for giving him orders that isn't helpful for the soldiers, which it is. Krillin is isolating himself from battle because he doubts his power. Frieza offers his soldiers a planet of their choosing if they killed Krillin. Frieza's soldiers rush to Krillin to try to kill him. Gohan, Piccolo, and Tien try to help Krillin, but there's too many soldiers for them to get to him. And that's a lot to unpack. But there, again, not really a lot that happened right there. Well, I think it was at that point where, where was it? Where Sorbet like suggested to have like all of them gang up on him on the Z fighters instead of one at a time, and that's why Frieza like say, hey, dude. You're gonna regret that later. Like I promise you. You know what I mean? Like you should. I mean, I know. I'm not trying to pick apart like the plot holes in here and why that's happening, but I mean, I know why it's happening. It's just kind of aggravating. Let's see. What did I miss here? Any input?
I was so tired of Krillin just like doubting himself, and that's why he's all fucking. He's such a little bitch. Like. I can't believe he couldn't realize as to how many fights he's been in since Frieza, and it's just okay. I hate that he doubted his power.
Let's get there then. Let's get there because that's probably the two things that I really liked about this episode. On Beerus' planet, Vegeta and Goku are sparring with each other. Whis seizes their session. Let's see, and then Beerus tells Whis to send him off to that place already. And they get sent off to God knows where. We don't know yet. Let's see. So we have that. So yeah, Goku and Vegeta go to somewhere, and that's pretty much at the end of that end of them for that episode. But then back on Earth, Krillin is getting bullied by some of Frieza's soldiers. When he gets attacked, Krillin is surprised to see his movement, even though pointed out by Master Roshi that he's seen battle against Cell, Majin Buu, and Beerus. Krillin gets more confident in his fighting skills and engages in using a spiral energy attack. Master Roshi fires a Kamehameha at his soldiers. Tien, Piccolo, and Gohan follow against theirs. But god damn it, that was a great scene. When when Master Roshi's like, he's like, you've seen the fights against Cell, you've seen the fights against Majin Buu, you've seen the even Frieza himself. You know what I mean? Well, Ganon, he didn't see a lot of that. But two things. Do you remember when Krillin died against Frieza? Like when he was floating in the air and he just yelled out for Goku? That would be a traumatic experience for me too. But then when you have, to me, Master Roshi is probably one of my favorite characters of all time.
Oh, definitely.
Like it's like Vegeta and then probably Master Roshi. Like that's. I mean, he just always has wisdom because, he doesn't take life too seriously unless he needs to. And it's so cool to see him fighting again. He's kicking ass, even though he broke his stick on the first swing. I was like, God dang it, that's crazy. But when he's saying you're a proud student of the
Turtle School,
and then it points to Krillin's gi, and you're like, God dang, it made me just remember everything. Like when running around with a hermit shell on their backs for days on end before the World Martial Arts Tournament, carrying the milk, even finding what's her name, the girl that sneezes.
That is Launch.
Launch. There we go. Yeah, Launch.
I forgot about Launch.
Yeah, I'll bring that up next week too because that one's funny. But yeah, so even finding Launch and all that stuff up until. The tournament itself, when you saw Krillin go against his old school, and they're all bigger than him, and he just seriously just knocks them out, beyond the tournament housing that they're in, and you flash forward to everything else, and you're like, man, that's why I love this show, for these little nuggets, these little golden nugget moments like this, and I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, oh wow. I'm sad. You know what I mean? I might shed a tear, It was one of the most heartwarming moments in that episode.
I think it's just a reminder that, hey, you're not exactly a scrub. You are definitely a warrior that's fought for a long time. You fought around some of the most powerful people in the universe. Yeah. So, just remember who you are for a second. It is a bit of a departure about, you don't, a lot of Super, when I started to see it, was they started to utilize characters that weren't as utilized, or maybe they didn't really go into too much depth toward the end of Dragon Ball Z, because then the focus became more of Goku and Vegeta, and they got to take care of the big bad guy.
Right.
So some of the other characters kind of fell by the wayside, also because there was just too much of a gap in power level.
Right.
So this is kind of where Super is a little bit different.
Yeah, it is. And right now, besides Goku and Vegeta, power levels are pretty much in the same realm. There's definitely stronger people. Gohan's still probably the strongest, regardless if he's training or not. But I mean, it's still again. I think Piccolo would give him a run for his money.
Definitely,
and even Krillin, But yeah, I thought that was so impactful. I'm glad they did that, and then he started kicking ass and realized how much fun he's having. Even though it's what are you doing as a cop then? That's the weirdest thing.
I think as a cop, you mainly see him pulling people over and stopping, forwarding bank robberies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but he's not able to punch them because he knows if he punches them fully, he'll kill them.
Right. Yeah. They're keeping restraint, kind of Well, and that just tells how much of good guys they are. They're not gonna just. They know what they can do.
Yeah. But I don't know. If someone's trying to destroy my planet, and I'm like, hey, let's not try to kill these guys. It's like, let's. I'm like,
let's rethink that. Let's.
Hey, bud, I love you and all, but guess what I'm about to do?
You're gonna die.
Yeah. I mean.
Or I punched you too hard and like, oops, I mean, I didn't know, but you also threatened my planet.
Like, I thought you were stronger than that. Anyway. Excuse me. Shisami is ordered by Sorbet to kill every single one of them. Gohan takes on the challenge. Shisami charges Gohan even though he's firing the... I can never pronounce that. Gigritsu Madden? Hopefully I pronounced that right. If not, correct me. Gohan gets caught in a bear hug. Gohan isn't struggling at all, but tells him that he wants people like him to be away from Earth while he raises his daughter. When Gohan is about to attack, Tagoma fires a ki blast, and it goes through Shisami and Gohan. Shisami is dead, but Gohan receives a hole in his chest, and his heart stops beating. I don't know. That's pretty dead to me. Piccolo restarts Gohan's heart by using a Ki, and Krillin gave Gohan a sensu bean to fully recover. Man, whoever wrote this sucks. Thanks, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Wiki. Sorbet notices that Tagoma's personality has changed because he is being rude to him. Tagoma is glad that Sorbet has chosen him to be Frieza's training partner. Tagoma would get beaten by Frieza until the point of death. Tagoma would use the regeneration machine to recover so he wouldn't die and Frieza could beat him more without killing him. This routine has gotten Frieza and Tagoma stronger in the 4-month span. But yeah, so, I mean, what did you think was going to happen with training with Frieza to the point of death? Yeah. Like, you're going to learn a thing or two, especially if, you're trying to be stronger altogether. Like, we've seen that especially you're part of the Dragon Ball universe. That's what happens when you train with stronger people, and in general in real life too. But yeah, so I thought this was pretty cool because in the beginning you see Tagoma like super timid, super shy, but he still has a little something in there. Like, you can kind of tell like there's something in there, but you're like, this guy's kind of a pushover. And yeah, so that was really fun to see.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was pretty savage the way he just took care of Gohan like that, just to shoot through his own comrade.
Yeah,
and to get the job done, which was pretty spot on as far as like training with Frieza. I'm pretty sure he would have to become a little bit more hardened at that point, and and really think about the big picture.
Indeed. But yeah, so last scene, we have Tagoma's offered by Frieza's commander of his army and a planet of his choosing if he killed the Z fighters. Sorbet scans Tagoma and says that he surpassed the Ginyu Force, but Tagoma has gone even beyond them. When Tagoma raised his ki, Trunks and Goten sense his power and goes to see what it is. And my favorite part of this episode, and I didn't see it coming, I got really excited the first time I saw this last year, is in Jocko's ship, there's a frog that pops out. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know who that frog is? Find out next week on Dragon Ball Super. No, I'm just playing. That
was good.
No, so it's actually Ginyu from the Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z. If you think about it, you never see Ginyu be killed or anything. You just see him turn into that frog.
Well, because he wasn't he wished back to Earth with the Namekian Dragon Balls?
Hey man, like, now you're skipping ahead, okay? Do you want to get out of here, bro? Yeah, he leaves. But no, I mean, so we'll find out next week what happens with Ginyu. I thought it was really exciting because it's always nice to see that nostalgia feeling. It's like, man, it happens. You don't hear anything from Ginyu. I mean, when was the last time Dragon Ball Z aired? It was a decade. It was almost over a decade ago. So so it's like, man, that's cool that they're reprising his role. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Overall, it was a good episode because there was a lot of action. Finally, it was cool to see like the Z fighters really start fighting with everybody, and seeing like where they're at. Like they're kind of just like shaking off the little rust, and seeing like where their power levels are at and see what they have to do. Next week's episode is Change, an unexpected return. His name is Ginyu, but there's a lot more that happens there too, and it gets a little bit more dark, and I'm excited to see this. But yeah, that was the episode, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I just seeing that there's going to be a turn. First of all, I don't think we don't know what's happened with Ginyu for, like you were saying, Tank, in the past decade. But like we also. He was one of those unique characters that you kind of wish you wanted to see a little more of because of what he could do, and you're only going to get a little bit of that in Dragon Ball Z, and you're just thinking to yourself, okay, what is he? Is he going to make a return at some point? Because it's just interesting. He's never really fully been defeated, So at least as far as Dragon Ball Z and from there, so you want to.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Steve. He's definitely an interesting character. But do you guys think that it was pre-planned?
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
They just wrote that to a point where maybe they could use him later on in the future, or because they show that when I guess Namek was being wished back and everything, they showed him there.
So fun fact about our good friend Akira Toriyama. He just wrote, like he had nothing planned. He just wrote the next episode. Now he's had very little to do with Dragon Ball Super, and we'll continue to talk about that, as the episodes go on. I mean, he's had some creative input, but he is not writing Dragon. He did not write Dragon Ball Super. Like maybe 10% of it probably was him. So these episodes, I mean, are just coming out of people's butts at this point. At what is it, Toei Animation? They're the ones that are pretty much creatively writing these episodes, and so Akira Toriyama was notorious for just writing stuff, and then eventually when it maybe hitting a brick wall. I'm not sure on his creative process, but he would just write something else about the past. About he would write someone's past, episodes down, without even having like a concrete arc for the full character yet. So I mean, at first in Dragon Ball, Goku wasn't even an alien. He wasn't even a Saiyan. It wasn't until Piccolo came around, I believe, that he that we find out that he's an alien. So no, Ginyu. I mean, whatever happened with Ginyu, it just happened. I mean, it was just kind of one of those things. It's like, okay, this is what we're doing. Let's roll with it. Let's see. Hey, who could we bring up that would make sense? And honestly, it's a right move. Ginyu, that makes so much sense. That Ginyu's back versus. I mean, who else? Who else could you really bring back right now? I can't even think of anyone on top of my head. That would really make sense to bring back like a lower tier character that would be under like Frieza's regime. But yeah, Ginyu makes so much sense, and if you haven't seen it, be excited about. I would definitely be excited about the next episode to see what happens with Ginyu. But yeah, so that's just a little bit of like nerd history about Akira Toriyama's writing style. But I don't know why I know so much about that. There's a lot more that we could talk more about that, but I think well, go ahead. Was someone going to say something? No, or are we just fat and breathing? We're just fat and breathing. Okay, gotcha. Oh man,
some of us have asthma. It's not a big deal.
Okay, just making sure. Just don't eat the microphone. That's never healthy. But okay, guys, a shorter episode than normal, but I like that. I mean, we went through pretty much everything. There's no reason.
It also, it comes from it. I would say the fighting is more like a 2 to 3, but there's that build up. It's not you got to see a little bit, like you're saying, Tank, but then it's like, okay, something bigger is going to come. And I like the build up as where maybe some other episodes in Dragon Ball Z where you probably had some good 2 or 3 fillers just to get to this point.
It's wetting, it's wetting your whistle a little bit, and you're like, ooh, I think I want seconds, and I think I want to see what comes from this, So definitely, yeah, man. I'm definitely excited to record next week because, again, it's a little throwback. It's a little nostalgia thing. But any other comments, questions, concerns before we end today's episode?
Just I loved.
All right, I want to thank you again for listening. Go ahead, Goose.
No, I was just saying that Frieza's dialogue in this was hilarious when he was talking about remember killing Krillin. It was I just kept on laughing at that. Like it was his metaphors too. Like I don't know. It's just a work of art for me.
There was something he said before we go on the previous episode that I wanted to bring up. I want to see if I can find it. He says something. It's so funny. Like he was sucking on the teat of something.
I remember that.
He was suckling. Yeah. And I was like, what are you suckling on, Frieza? Like, get the tit out of your mouth and start fighting some people, all right, man?
I remember that.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell, dude? Like, okay, cool. But Frieza's dialogue is always great. Like, it's always, like, so grandiose, like, more than it has to be. Like, it's never to the point. It's like, if he wants like to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's like, what I would find more delicious right now is if I had 2 slices of bread and peanut butter and jelly inside of it. And it's like, you want a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Just say it, Frieza. God dang it! Like,
made by my father.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Served me in a silver plate.
Yeah, exactly. It's so extra. Never mind. No, but that I think that's just gonna do it for today's episode. If you liked it, if it was a little rough, I don't know. Well, I think we're a little bit off. I'm off my game today. I don't know what's going on, and I apologize for doing such a horrible job versus the past 2 episodes. But I will be coked up and on Red Bull next week, I promise. Just kidding, kids. Don't do drugs. Seriously, don't. Don't do drugs. No. If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to hit that like button, hit subscribe, notification bell, let you know when new episodes come out. If you want to see our faces, leave a comment down below too. We might do video. We might have to block out Steve-O's face because he's so handsome, and then he'll steal our thunder away from the chicks that love.
Yep. Oh boy.
But no. For Goose, for Steve-O, I'm Tank Rodriguez. You were listening to Dirty Masenko, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye, Goose.
Nah. Fuck y'all bitches.
Whatever. Bye.